work on that inner communication that preserves your energy, saves your energy, generates your energy, spreads your energy, that is then value-based. That's when you come back to your purposes. How everything's built on the other. You take away the base, everything crumbles. Or it does, it keeps crumbling, you keep rebuilding. But if your base is strong, your journey has a purpose, and then over it, you've got your right skills, and you're constantly on your inner communication, on your inner watch. Your structure continues to grow, and you leave a legacy behind. Everybody watching, hey, the 51 story was, the architect was so and so, and this is one of the most beautiful buildings. That's your legacy, which you leave behind. One day we all have to go, sooner or later. Don't we see our families go sooner or later? They just suddenly disappear sooner or later. We've all suffered. There's not one family who would be sitting here who's not experienced this. Life is short. Now, one life is not enough for everything. So and do you know what? I believe in this, that we all begin from where we leave. Why are we different? We all begin with what we leave. If you start believing in this, that I will begin with what I leave, you will see, and we're coming back anyway. Sooner or later. Some may come after a million years, some may come after 100 years, some may just come soon enough. This is all mystery. But one day we're all going to come back. And come back with what? Bank accounts. Bank accounts are what? Not money, but deeds. Good deeds. Good thoughts. Good investments. That's what. So therefore every life is an investment for the next. There's no escape from it. Except to be a Buddha. And how many of us in our lives can be? Even Buddha's was a life of migration. Even Buddha's life was thousands of lives lived to be reaching there. If you read that as a part of your inner communication, you will read, that's what I do, and that's what my belief is. That is why I get out of the comfort zone every day, hopefully to going for a next life. But it's not investment waiting to die to see, it's waiting to live. It's living and letting people live. And it's not saying, let live and I live. No. It's not saying, I let you live, but I live. No, I live and let live. I think that's the larger message. And that's what all courage and daring is all about. Courage is not in isolation. Courage comes out of this base, the strength of your foundations. So it's never late to keep working on your foundations. Foundations need all the time correction, strengthening, and that you need to find for yourselves. What is it that you can add to your foundation every day, to your structures, so that you continue to stand out and be not one of the crowd, but be somebody in your life wherever you stand out to be, within families or at your workplaces. Thank you so much for kind listening. I would be very happy to take a direct Q&As as you wish, and as much as Sabir wants us to. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Kiran, Dr. Bedi. A lot of the things that Dr. Bedi was referring to is highlighted even deeper in the movie. She first became famous when she became the traffic police of Delhi. And to clean up the haphazard parking of the system, she towed, of all things, Indira Gandhi's personal car. So that's the thing that got her on her road to stardom. She towed Indira Gandhi's car. That are some of the things that she did. Went after a group of Punjabis with swords, about 15, 20 of them. All she had in her hand was a stick. So these kinds of things happen not to normal people like us, but to rather different beings like she. So this is some of the things that she goes through. There's a book there's a section in Raji's book where you sent to the prison, and they thought they would bury you at the prison. The prison was reeking with filth of the worst kind, and of the physical and the spiritual kind as well. When she left the prison, she converted the prison into an ashram where prisoners go and they get really rehabilitated with all the meditation and things going on there. So it went very well. So these are some of the things Dr. Bedi has gone through in her life and managed to come through with the other end, bright and shining. These are some of the things. So I'm opening the session, some Q&A from your side, and of course being the MC of the session, I have some Q&A of my own to ask Dr. Bedi. If you want to ask questions, just put up your hand, your name and the division that you represent, and we can just fire away with your questions. Yes? Your name and your division, please.
Yeah, my name is Selvaraj. I'm from the Global Markets. We are very glad to have you here, Dr. Kiran. Okay, my question is, as the Director General of the prisons in India, and of course in India is really a discriminating society against women especially, and for you to be holding that position, and you had to be in charge of prisoners, of all these hardcore criminals and all that. And my question is, even like we are here, we are so consumed with work and all that, like yourself. So how did you kind of maintain your sanity? I mean, dealing with the hardcore criminals and the prisons and all that, and not to mention obviously, the pressure from the corrupt politicians from up above. And so how did you maintain your sanity when you, let's say, go back home? And do you kind of divorce your work from family life? And how did you do it? Because like for me, I'm a trader. I'm dealing with financial markets, but I am consumed by work even when I go back home. Even when I'm with my kids, I'm still watching the markets and thinking about work and all that. So that's my first question. How did you maintain your sanity from all these things? And secondly,
but your first question itself is very loaded.
Okay, I'll come back to my second question later.
It's everything in one.
Oh, you want me to continue?
It's everything in one.
Okay, my second question
No,
is...
but I haven't answered it.
No. Okay, alright, so you can...
But is it home sanity? Is it a home sanity?
Yes, it is.
So then why didn't you get your sanity there? You need to create home and oases of peace. How do you do that? My recharge was home. Even after I was at home after night patrollings and late night evenings after law and order duties, sometimes I used to come home midnight. But home was a warm home, quiet, welcoming, warm, and food there. Somebody there to love me and take care of me. Caring place, back to that first message is create homes as places of recharge and not discharge further. You need to recharge. It has many meanings. But it has to be a place of actually recharge. Right? Now, so that means everything which you do at home, everything, how you organize your home, even that's what I'm talking about. Your inner communication and your external communication. If your home is not a place of recharge, then you discharge throughout. You cannot recharge in the office, sorry. Because office is very demanding and it is time bound and you have to be measurable on that count. So the only place where you're not being assessed and measured that way, or an appraisal report is not being given to you, is home. That means how do you develop your work, your home place as an oasis of peace? A disturbed home cannot bring in a productive human being at work. He is only burning himself out, let me tell you that. Then he's burning the candle both sides. We need to understand in our management schools that home is vital for peace and recharge. So peace, that has to be a place of peace. If it isn't, go find the peace. Create the peace. But and what disturbs the peace has to be addressed. And you'll have to cut off the time when you do at least have a quiet dinner with children, whoever is at home. Give them that attention and respect, and also ownership. I also had my wireless blaring when I was reaching home. My wireless and control room was outside my home. Every 5th minute he would come for a message. I couldn't shoo him away. Because if I wouldn't take the message, my boss would take the message. So I better attend to it first. Right? So you got to strike that balance. But whenever I had the time break with I could spare, nobody mattered more than my family. So my family knew that for my mom or whoever within my family was, family comes first immediately after work. That's given in detail in the film. Anyway, that's another story. So my one answer is, remember, value family support. Don't take them for granted. Give them due respect. If you have a spouse waiting for you, please see that she gets full respect. And if the children waiting for you or your elders waiting, if you're lucky to be having this family support, you're fortunate these days. If any one of your family waits for you, you're very fortunate. Because today nobody waits for anybody. So please value whoever is at home, or go home and add value to home. Right? I think this would be one. How did I keep my sanity was inner communication. I loved doing whatever I did. And I did it with a sense of responsibility. And a sense of sharing. A lot of sharing happened whenever I could. You see, it all depends. What you can delegate and what you can't. Every position varies. I delegated all I could. I didn't delegate was prime responsibility of mine. And I passed on leadership, groomed leadership to such an extent that it was shared rewards, not one-centered. That's how I kept my sanity, by sharing and not monopolizing. Now something's confidential, something's not. It varies from chair to chair, I understand that. But if you are a real leader, then sanity is bound to be there, because leader is one who delegates and empowers people. And if you empower and delegate, you reduce your own pressure. And that means you do only what you can do. And you do. But you have to draw a line. So you have to all draw your own line, red lines. I can't tell you where is your red line. But you got to go back and reflect. What's your second question now?
Thank you very much, Doctor, for very enlightening. Okay, my second question is from your experience as the Director of the prisons. I'm sure you have dealt with all these hardcore criminals and all kind of people in the prisons. Now, all human are born good person into this earth. Now, over the the environment and the upbringing or whatever, they morph into these kind of individuals. Can they, all these hardcore criminals and all that, can they be rehabilitated, to be back into the society as a normal person in the society, and because I for one believe that no one is totally useless. So can they be actually, in your experience, can they be rehabilitated and become a useful member of the community?
Where does the crime grow from? Where does the crime take birth? Where does a negative crime, where does crime come from? Hands, legs, stomach, heart, or mind? It comes from the mind. It comes from the thinking. It comes from a temptation. It comes from greed. It comes from violence. But it comes from a thought. That means you address the mind, you address the crime. You address the mind, you get love, you get compassion, you get service, you get forgiveness, you get sanity back. It's all about the mind. That's why I'm insisting on the inner communication. We senior managers communicate externally but do not communicate internally. This is self-taught. This is to be self-learned. And this is not one-day learning, friends. It's a daily nutrition. That is why in the prison, I brought in programs addressing the mind. And gangsters also were a part of those meditation programs where they learn to reflect. And I found them crumbling after the programs are seeking forgiveness. Some improve by 2 courses, some improve by 10 courses. It all depends how deep your evil is.